So what I'm doing here is doing a preliminary straightening of the frame. It's a straightening table for inspecting, aircraft parts and stuff. I mean, for a bicycle frame, it's kind of overkill, but you want to get, at least the way I've been figuring it out, is you get 3 baselines, head tube, in between the stays and the seat tube, and try to get all those equal. And then it's just tapped, so you want to just give it a little bit of pressure. You don't want to break your tacks. So that needs a bit more oomph to it, or these need to come down. So that needs to come up, and you're just kind of going around and around and kind of tugging on it, pushing on it. But you can't really get too hog wild with it. See, that already lined up, because you'll just break your tack while it's loose. And that's the initial process. Too much. It's just going to move again after you weld it, and then you've got to straighten it again. But this way you start with a good baseline to work with. You got to drag this across all the tubes there and make sure they're not crooked, the head tube isn't crooked, etc. So I'll do another one on that. Okay, so you lay the tool on the tube, and then I'm going to drag it across. It should be fairly even. You can get really crazy with straightening and get everything within hundredths of an inch, but I don't really feel that's necessary for what I'm doing, which is making, upsized BMX cruisers from 20 inchers. This is going to be a redline square back, like a 76 version. So I can tell there's a little drag there. You just align the tool, and you want to get it as straight as possible so it'll ride nice. And that's pretty good. Do the head tube. This is critical. If these come in cattywampus, then you'll have it dive to one side. So I do spend some time on this one. Just check it out, and that's pretty darn straight. So I'd say we're pretty good on this one. It's going to move around again, like I said, when you weld it all the way, and then you got to do it again. Then you can really lay into it, bend it up. So. dirty, I can't see anything. Nope. Not dry. Damn it. It's all fogged up now. Hot. Okay. Burned a little hole in the tube there. Frankly, watching people weld is boring. No more of that. Okay. Got these frames all welded up. I made a gusset, a coaster brake tab on my mill, brake bridge. Each one of these is a little different. I'm trying to do like a 77, 76, whatever, red line, but it would be way bigger if it was proportionate, but then it would look kind of goofy. So a little gusset, and I'm going to align the frame using my frame alignment tool right here. Once you've welded it all the way up, you can certainly go to town on this thing and really tweak it. So start with the baseline and check. I check these 3 points. I may not be doing this right, but it works. Been able to straighten out some pretty crooked frames. So that looks like it needs to come up a scotch. Just use your arms first. You don't have to get these big sweeps. And I just go round and round. Keep checking. And then you're going to check the angle. Once you get those three look pretty good. So then we move on and check all the slopes here and make sure they're even. Okay, so now laying your tool on here. Keep in mind, I am not a professional frame builder. I'm doing this just for fun and skill building. I am not a machinist. I own and operate a bike shop, and that, like, I can do I'd say decent. Shops are closing all around me. I'm still there, so that's probably a testament to that, or maybe a testament to me just being a cheap bastard, knowing how to save money, not go buy like stupid things like $600 leather pants or dumb phones, all that crap. I'm needing that shit. So, you know, that's all there is to it. And then you just go down the line and see that's creeping up there. So this needs to come down a little bit. Give it a push, like so. Go at it again. You could tweak on this thing all day and get it razor straight. I'd say every bicycle you've ever rode in your life is probably not 100% straight. Independent fabrications were known for having real straight frames, but there's probably a couple other brands that were known for that back in the day. But your Giant or Trek or whatever specialized, if you put those frames on this table, you would see that there's some variance there, and ultimately it's not really that big of a deal. Or asymmetrical. Your bike can be a little asymmetrical, I guess. Okay, we're checking the seat tube. Whoops. Oh, earthquake. Oh, it's California. Oh, stabilize. So, after I do this, I'm going to do the welding. And then there's some finish work. I like to get in there with a hand file and clean up some of my not so great welds. That's been a long process, just getting decent, I guess I would say. I've seen production stuff with worse welds than mine, and certainly a lot that are better, but then again, I don't weld bike frames 40 hours a week, so, you know, I'll weld stuff when I want to do stuff. And the goal of this project was to use up all my material because it was starting to rust away, and maybe I could potentially monetize these, which would be cool, but probably not. I don't know. You never know. Sell them cheap, like 300 or 350 bucks, and they just kind of sit. Everybody wants an original 70s or 80s BMX cruiser, and they're just crazy expensive. You know, some of them are $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for a frame, and in the day, are you really going to pay 10 grand or whatever for a beach cruiser? It just seems silly. So you can be cool. No thanks. Alright, so honestly, I was against making videos or even taking pictures of stuff until it's finished. I just kind of feel like you spend too much time documenting what you're doing instead of actually doing the thing that you're supposed to do, which defeats the whole purpose of doing things. And then you're chasing this fake currency, the likes, which I don't care about, but you wind up falling into this trap, whether you want to or not, that you start getting addicted to getting approval from strangers via this fake currency, the like, and you're chasing your own tail. You know, I don't make any money off of YouTube. I got a real job, you know, small business that I built up, and there's no making money off this thing. I mean, I'm not going to become a professional YouTuber. That would just be a cosmic joke. And then, you know, you become the thing that you hate, kind of. You're basically a clown, and performing, you know, to entertain people. I don't know if that's any good or not. So you think about it. I don't know, do you need all this approval? Why has it become so valuable? People used to be more inner directed, and now they are other directed, where they require the approval of their peers to act. You can't even make mundane decisions without turning it into a conference call, like what you should eat or what you should wear. And I find that really not just absurd, but a little frightening that people can't make basic decisions for themselves as easy as they used to and just be decisive. Being indecisive means you're kind of mentally off kilter and you're susceptible to suggestion. Not some tinfoil hat kind of conspiracy thing, because I'm definitely not going there. This is just human psychology. You know, you go to a shopping mall or a casino and they make it so you can't tell night or day or any of this stuff, because that'll get you to stay in there more. It's a psyop. You go to a grocery store and they do the same thing. They put the essentials in the back. You gotta wade through all this bright packaging and stuff and put the candy in the checkout aisle. I mean, it's all very well thought out and deliberate, and it does boost sales. So these are facts. So you just need to be cognizant of these traps. And what are you doing with yourself? You want to focus on your life and what's valuable, and not worry too much whether or not people necessarily approve of your actions. So that's me. Of course, that means there's a little bit of hypocrisy going on here, because I fully intend to upload this stupid thing on YouTube, and you know, if people like it, I guess that's cool. But at the same time, I just try not to give it a lot of currency, because I just think you're chasing something that doesn't really have any real value, you know. One of my videos got 335,000 views, and so what? But you can get addicted to the attention and shift your focus in life onto appeasing these strangers, bots. You don't know who or what they are, and giving them your life force. And what are you getting out of that? I don't know. I mean, if you're getting paid, you're one of those rare YouTubers that actually gets paid to put up videos. I guess that's your job now. But for some schnook like me, it's not going to happen. Just some greasy dude who loves bikes and likes making things. Probably shouldn't even be waxing philosophical while I'm doing this, because honestly, I bet you no one really wants to hear it. Don't like kibitzing or telling people what to do. Everybody's different. You gotta figure out stuff for yourself. I don't know. Stuff that works great for me would probably be a complete disaster to most other people. I'm alright with that. There's so many self-imbued gurus out there in the net waste, telling you how to live or what to do, or some workout, you know, where you're gonna get six-pack abs and all this shit. And I don't know. How many of those people are you gonna chase until you're just chasing yourself? You never get nowhere. This is the crooked head tube, always a tricky one. To segue back into what we're really dealing with here, this is my other frame alignment tool, which is just a piece of metal tubing, or solid stock aluminum, excuse me. So yeah, that's it. Figure it out. Or not. I don't know. Nobody does. Probably never will. Okay, give it some more bend. Gotta take this bad boy to the gun show. Look at that thing twist. but metal has a memory. It'll bounce back some. You can mess them up and ruin them if you get a little too crazy. This is just high-ten steel. It's pretty flexible material. You can beat on it. There we go. Much better. So, but yeah. I used to put all these bike builds on these forums and try to get people to vote for them and these build-offs and stuff, and it was like so much like dumb politicking and not really having fun with the bikes, and I just got pretty disenchanted with it because just something dumb that someone cobbled together out of a bunch of old parts would be the one that everybody loved, and the one that you built from scratch and made all these cool trick parts for and stuff. It was just, you know, maybe you didn't take good pictures, or you didn't glad hand people, ass kissing, you didn't do enough boot licking or ass kissing, and you know, and I was just like, alright, this is dumb. I don't need this crap in my life. And I just stopped doing all that, trying to compare, compete. You throw it out there, and people, it doesn't matter what you do, the peanut gallery's always got something to say. I mean, that existed way before the internet did. You know? And if all you've done with your life is just levy criticism on others, you're basically a waste of space. You're just a troll, as they say, and who needs it? Right? I don't need it. Nobody needs it. Maybe you should go do something with yourself and shut up. To try and do something and then put it out there as the battle cry for your troll to come out from their bridge and point their derisive finger at you and talk trash about what you're doing. You can't win. There's way too many of them, and they're always on there, and they're wasting their life force just being bitter, like sour people that don't do anything because they're too cowardly to go out there and put themselves at risk. That what they do that they're passionate about may be poo-pooed by a bunch of who knows who the hell you are's out there. Bike Bob 2112, you know, who cares what he thinks? I just wouldn't bother. Anyway you go, but those people, they never do anything with themselves. Their whole life is like, you could fit the achievements on a post-it note. Is that the person you want to be? And it takes a lot of courage just to carve out a life for yourself and move ahead and just shove all those dickheads out of your way and go, where's your bike frame? People said shit to me. I'm all, well, go make a better one. You've got all the fucking answers and the skills. It just shuts them up. Well, that's what I thought. Just running your mouth. Talk is not cheap, man. It's expensive. If you pay attention to it, it's no good. Okay, I've got all the gusset, brake bridge attached. I'm going to do the coaster brake tab. I just stick an old wheel in here so I align it correctly and just tack it and then weld the whole thing. That's probably the first thing I finish with the sundries, the little pieces. So, like so. Use the coaster brake torsion arm as a fixture to hold it in position and just give it a tack. Okay, then you gotta bend it up into the position in the frame. High-tech fabrication going on here. And I gotta get that one tacked and then straighten it. Okay, so you probably can't see it, but it's kind of going up like this because the weld pulls it, and then you can use your handy coaster brake tab alignment tool, part tool number P706515. I don't know. Anyway, check. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's get this thing out of the way. Now you can finish up those little pieces, and then all you gotta do is align the frame. Not align the frame, I'm talking out of my ass. Hone the seat tube, face the head tube, put a serial number in it, and that's what's next. And then it's finished. Okay. Some more welding. Watch your eyes. So I'm one of those kinds of people that gets into something and just sucks at it for so long, and I have to just stick with it and be super tenacious, and that's the only way I've ever gotten any real competency with anything. It's just lots and lots of intense, concentrated practice. I'm not really much of a natural adept at anything, except that I have an ant-like kind of tenacity that served me very well in many endeavors, and not to give up. So, you know, I'm like a so-so welder now, and my welds used to be just downright awful for a very long time. There's other things I've done with my life that I've done where I've gotten really good at stuff. It's just lots and lots of hard work, you know. That's it. There's no cheats or hacks. That's all BS. Okay. So now we'll weld the back side a little bit first so the coaster brake tab doesn't get pulled all cattywampus. Make sure you clean it. So, yeah, I spent years and years building competency with swords of all things, because I played Dungeons and Dragons. It's only natural that you want to actually fight, and I got pretty good at that. But you know, I would spend hours a day doing it, just swinging the stuff around to get the hang of it, and fighting people. Still a competent fighter, definitely not great. But I hold my own. I challenge people that fight me. I have a very confusing style. And I'm left-handed. That gives you a huge edge in that stuff, being a lefty. So, but yeah, it's just something I really wanted to be good at. And at one point I was going to 5 practices a week. So if I really, really wanted to get good at welding, I would come out here and weld for hours and hours every single day, and I would get the competency that I want. It's just not that important to me to be a super awesome welder right now. I like just being decent. I'm not doing this for a living, so it's not that important. But you know, it's coming along. I'm seeing progress. So yeah. Okay, gonna finish up this tab. Run a little more weld on it. I think the coaster brake is just the best piece of cycling equipment out there. I do all my off-road riding with a coaster now. I don't even like handbrakes. I don't like gears. I don't like suspension. There's just something really fun and simple about just ripping down some crazy downhill trail on a bike just with the coaster brake, and it changes how you look at stuff. It makes every trail new and very challenging. So if you feel like your riding's getting stale, I would highly recommend doing coaster brake only mountain biking, plunking as they like to call it now, or did, whatever. And I'm going to chase that one. So yeah. So I don't know, you can see that. Probably just knock it right out of focus. Get out of the way, equipment. But there we go. It looks like, yeah, it's just a little dirt spot, but you can see you're out of focus. Not bad. It's looking good. Round stuff is still very challenging, but you see, there it is. Okay, we're gonna move over to the head tube gusset. I didn't knock all my stuff over everywhere. I think this thing needs to be welded all the way. We'll see. Alright. Go. Get tungsten into the weld. Amateur move. Do a partial. Like everything, welding material is just insanely expensive now. I filled up my TIG, my acetylene bottles, and bought some flux. It was $290. So, you know, you gotta temper some of this with pragmatism. Blah! Alright, well, that, maybe I should just work and shut up. Okay. Finishing up the gussets. They got away from gussets. They realized that after a while they probably weren't necessary, but man, they just look so cool, you know. Gussets look badass. I could bring back the gusset a handful of frames at a time. Welding. Right now this frame is as hot as Hades. I have burned the living crap out of myself welding. It's just part of the game, I guess. It's worth it. Having the skill is so useful. You can do so much with knowing how to weld. Even mediocre like myself, you can just make things, fix stuff. You don't have to pay anybody. The tools eventually pay for themselves. It doesn't take much. I made gates. It's like thousands of dollars and it cost me $200 in materials. So yeah. Okay. Earthquake mode. Finish this up, and then move on to the brake bridge. You know, at the end of the day, you did it yourself. I wouldn't worry about making whatever you're making into some amazing thing. So much good stuff dies on the vine trying to be great. It's better just to keep moving, throw it out there, and you'll get better, and your craft will improve, your speed will improve, and you'll get there. As long as you don't quit, I think that's really key in getting any satisfaction out of anything or anyone. Finishing stuff is really where it's at. I know so many people that are more talented than me at everything, and they haven't finished anything in an age. Probably never will, and that's it. Their whole life is unfinished business, aborted projects. And I'm doing it all the time. I have this completion inertia in my life, the momentum of finishing stuff. So your brain is plastic, and that part of my brain to finish things is fairly strong, and your average creative type, their main creative energy is put in telling themselves they can't do things. So you pick which one you want to be. Okay, moving over to the last piece, the brake bridge. So, get close to the finish line on this frame. Not going to have it done today, but at least I'll have it all welded up. Do all the finish work on it. Definitely got to go through it with a file, clean up some of my welds and stuff, try to make it look better. Now, I like to have a nice finished product, something at least that I'm happy with. I don't doubt I'll appease some of these BMX nerds, but hey, chasing the horizon with that one. big hole in this thing. That's good. Fix it. Shove some material in there. The hand file can't fix. Yeah, getting close. Okay, there's the frame. Just finished doing all the major welding. There'll be some cleanup, some touch up, you know. Not perfect. Because I made it. Of course it's not perfect. But not too shabby. It looks kind of like a 70s redline square back. Proportionately the gusset would be here. But it just, I did that for the first one I made and it just didn't really look right. So, you know, when you upsize something from a 20-inch photograph into a 26-inch cruiser, you're going to have some changes in how the frame looks, and you have to make alterations. So, yeah, there you go. Backyard bike. Be pretty cool if someone builds it up. Thanks. Okay. We're getting to the tail end of these. Finished putting in all the gussets, brake bridge, all that stuff. So the next thing you need to do is hone out your seat tube. I always just use a drill bit, but it became really tedious. I bought one of these. I bought these in the past and then I break them, you know, because I'm basically a caveman. But yeah, it's a cylinder hone, and you can use this to get all the weld that's penetrated through the tube out of the seat tube. And if you don't do that, you're never gonna get it. Never gonna get a seat post in there. So this is just something you have to do. And it's nice to have a nice tool that allows you to slowly hone all that material out. I guess you could use a drill. I have this crazy drill, the Wrist Killer 5000. It's 3/4 horse. It could pick you up off the ground and break your jaw. So I don't like that, and then probably would break this thing anyway. It's just one of those things. Just go slow, take your time, incrementally, and you'll get there. So like that.